Hey everybody, welcome to the Premier Power Hour podcast. Billy Watkins here with Chip Underwood.
Hello.
Chip, welcome.
Thank you.
We're on the road again today in one of the great cities of North America, Chicago, Illinois.
I think so.
At our Chicago division.
Yes, sir.
So, let me ask you, Chip, how long have you been with Premier?
Be 12 years in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a long time.
A dozen years.
A dozen years, yeah. It's been a good run.
Let's look back.
Oof. All right, sounds good.
Over the past, and tell me, how did you get your start?
So actually, that's a good story. Molly Macy, who is one of our project managers here, her husband started this division with Daryl Anderson in sales, and she and I worked at a different company together. And I was looking to get into something different. I was pretty much tired of what I was doing there, and she recommended I come over to Premier and as their operations manager. And I thought, sounds like something to use all my skills I've developed over my career, and thought I'd give it a shot. And I showed up on the first day, and I had a stack of boxes and a PC on top of a crate, and said, "Okay, manage yourself for the first year. We'll get it figured out." And away we went.
So it was just kind of the running start.
Very much so. Very much so.
Off a cliff.
Yeah, I was not coming in and managing a group of people. I was coming in and managing myself, and really just trying to figure out, what it took to run a division and keep us going. Entering orders, cutting purchase orders, pulling orders in the warehouse floor, loading trucks, routing trucks.
So
you name it.
Back then, a dozen years ago, that predates me. So I don't. What was the Chicago division back then? Just basically, it had just started.
It did. So they started a year before I came on. It was just Mike and Daryl, and they were both sales. So, what they found was they couldn't be both at the warehouse pulling their own orders and getting things together to go to ship out to their customers and be out there actually selling to customers. So after about a year, they realized they needed to bring someone on internally to kind of handle that piece of the business for them. And that's kind of where I fit in.
How long did it take you to hit your stride?
I got about 3 days before I had to get running. So I got there the first day. They sent me down to Louisville. I trained with Joe Cox and Ryan Benningfield, and really what I learned in those first 3 days is who can I call when I have a problem,
right? Which
was often in the beginning. And then they sent me back up to Chicago and said go, and just kind of figured it out as I went.
But knew to ask questions and had
folks for sure. I'm never afraid to ask a question when it's necessary, and knew who to ask, and they were all very much willing to answer my questions over and over again, which I really appreciated, because it's hard when you first start out. There's a lot coming at you at once,
right.
And having that team and peer base to go to and say, look, I forgot how to do this. How do I do this? And they'll walk me through it again and again, knowing that eventually I'm going to catch on, and then they don't have to do it anymore. So it's benefits them, benefits me, and again, it's just our culture here at Premier to really, want to help each other.
Right.
So it was great.
How long did it take you to catch on, would you say?
Not long.
Okay.
I'm pretty quick. During my interview process, one of the things the best thing I got out of my interview process was when John Gaynor was interviewing me, and he said, look, the one piece of advice I'll give you is learn our system. Master our system, you're going to be good at this job. And I took that to heart. So I'd work all day, and then I'd go home at night, and I would literally just play in the system and study it and learn it and figure all the tricks and tips and things that would make me more efficient. And I was able to get up and running pretty quickly. I mean, we took over the warehousing piece and the shipping piece in the first week. Purchasing came on within the first month. And then I was doing the customer service part by January, so within 3 months.
What has that growth been? I mean, from over that 12 years, how has it expanded?
So that's a great question. So now, in my new role, I'm managing not only the customer service and purchasing team for both the North Central division, but 3 other divisions on the west. So basically everything west of the Mississippi, Canada, I'm managing the customer service and procurement teams. Here in Chicago, I've seen our operation grow from myself, Mike, and Daryl to now we have 46 employees here. Wow. Just kind of daunting when you think in 12 years how much we've actually grown, seen our sales grow. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Outside of just our system and learning our system. And I agree with you. If you can get that down, I mean, that is
For sure.
maybe more than half the battle.
Without doubt.
For sure. But what other skills have you developed in those 12 years?
I would say, two different types. So one would be more, learning reporting. So Excel has become a big part of my life. Just knowing that, ASI can give you a lot of data, it just isn't pretty. So learning that Excel piece and be able to clean it up and make it functional for our sales team to be able to do what they have to do has been a big achievement for myself in the last 12 years. And then the other part I would say is, I've always managed people. I've always been in management roles throughout my career, but really just even at Premier is just being able to listen, take the best of what I see from other people and apply that here. I don't always have the right answer, but I'm willing to listen to anything.
Right.
And I've taken on a lot of things from different divisions that I've seen that have worked for them and really rolled it into what we do here and just seeing the people grow tremendously. That's been exciting for me.
It's amazing how everybody is an expert at Excel. Like interview folks for supervisor positions, and it's just boilerplate on a resume that they're Word. And
of course.
Right? And then when you get down to it, no one knows what
they
they're
don't
doing.
have a clue.
No one knows what they're doing. They're lucky to open the file.
That
right?
is correct.
So
Excel's the one with the X button, right? Yeah, that's the one with the X, right?
But you can do your VLOOKUPs and pivot tables.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just actually did several this morning for a reorder report, for some sales reports for Daryl, for another sales rep I had to knock out another type of report. I did all those this morning before I get into this. He came in, got really rolling. So, yeah, it's every day for me. It's probably 50% of what I'm doing every day is just playing with those Excel reports and getting them looking right.
Well, in a huge part, all of that data from our system and all of the history we have in orders and sales, you gotta be able to do something with that.
Right, because you look at those reports we get, and again, like I said, lots of data there. But to give that to a sales rep, they're going to look at it and just it's overwhelming.
Right.
They want those quick hit summary. What do we do? And understanding what their needs are, and then taking that and then applying it to what I can do, and making something that's quick, efficient, and gives them what they need right away. And it's powerful.
Yeah.
It makes them better at what they do. So that's kind of the tie-in I like a lot.
So I'll start calling you with Excel questions.
That sounds good. And I'll direct you to Patty.
That's perfect. We've talked to Patty before. I think she'll take my call.
I think so too.
With our system, it's been a few years since I've been in it. How much has it changed? Would I even know what the heck I'm doing if you told me, hey, put this order in for me?
You would. The basics of our system really are the same that we've had for 12 years. What we've done is added a lot of modifications to make some things easier.
Right.
Things like auto PO creation. I can enter an order and it'll automatically kick out a PO. I can have it tie into a PO and link the two together and just make things more efficient. So I think that's what the biggest changes you'll see are just a lot of those modifications that make us more efficient. In a divisional sense, when we're buying almost everything we do, to have the ability to not have to basically recreate the wheel every time we cut a PO if we've already cut the order, and have it just tie in automatically for us through the system, that's hours of your day back. And when you're an operation of 2 or 3 or 4 people, those hours, that's huge. That's a day for you. That's efficiency. That allows you to get into something else you need to get into that you couldn't do before.
And there has been a lot of progression, and from what I've seen, a lot of effort put into improving.
Without a doubt.
In the last 12 years, I've been here 10 years, and from point A to point B, it's gotten a lot more seamless.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, they're doing the best they can, and what I like the most is we take. There's a form now you can fill out. Anybody can get into it and make a suggestion. It's not just your directors, your operations managers making suggestions as to how to make the system better. It's everybody. The whole company has an opportunity to say, look, if we could do something like this, my job would be so much easier. My job would be so much more efficient. We take those to heart, and they go into a discussion, and we look at it and say, yeah, for the money we'd have to invest, that's a great tool. Let's do that. So.
And on top of it, all the changes you have to have just because of oh, now we've got how many divisions? You know, I mean,
Right.
you're shipping from how many warehouses?
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane the number of 3PLs and warehouses we have now. Was it over 80 3PLs, I think, and a dozen or so warehouses that are Premier owned? It's crazy.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, it really is.
Stuff
From where we
everywhere.
started. Whew.
So looking back over that 12 years, what's one of the most proudest moments of your career so far?
For me personally,
Thank you.
you like that? I know.
I didn't
you
write
wrote that
it.
yourself?
No,
that's
it's
good.
on the piece of paper.
No, I think my greatest achievement is when I see someone who's been reporting to me get promoted into a new role, growing with the company. I've had 5, 6, 7 people really move into totally new roles in the company, and then I mean leadership, management roles, or sales roles, where through their hard work and diligence, they've really achieved what I wanted to achieve when I started. I started an operations manager, but I'm more proud of when people grow through the company than a personal achievement for myself. That's great if I grow up, awesome. That's awesome, good for me. But
Right.
in the end, when I see a Jesse Bowen become a sourcing liaison for the divisions in the company, that's huge for me. When I see Ellie Kramer go from a customer service rep to a customer service lead now, and she's managing her team, that's awesome for me. It makes me really proud of what they've achieved. So those would be my biggest achievements for sure.
And it's a testament to the fact that Premier is a place where you can grow,
100% agree.
Where you can the sky's the limit. Basically, you can start.
A lot of companies you go into, it is very much you get hired into a position, and if you're really, really lucky, you may go up one level.
Right.
Premier is a company where, due to our growth and just our culture, the sky's the limit. I mean, new positions are opening up every day, every week, every year. And where we'll go next, I mean, we're always open to, well, that's a really great idea, let's try that. And it's a new department, new division. Boom, people are getting, promoted up from within because they've shown an aptitude for it. That's powerful. And that's exciting. That's what I think that's what they look for.
Yeah.
Money's great. Everybody wants the money, right? But in the end, you
Not doing
also
it for free.
want some mobility through a company. You
Yeah.
don't want to feel like you're stuck. In Premier, you definitely are not stuck. The sky's the limit here, for sure.
That is awesome to hear you put it that way. So we're in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Let's just get out of here. What do you like to do?
We're
in
going to
the
go to a
city?
Sox game.
Sox game. Okay.
Forget those Cubs. No, I'm just kidding. I like both teams. I won't pick just one, but I'm definitely a Sox fan. So that's always fun.
So Sox over Cubs. What's your favorite kind of quintessential Chicago food? Is it?
It's deep dish pizza all day long.
And there's nothing like it in the world. I absolutely love it.
Not even close.
It's there's just a couple of things. I want deep dish pizza, and I want like Italian beef.
The Italian
right?
beef, absolutely. That's the other one, without a
As
doubt.
sloppy and nasty.
That's
as
my
you can
favorite.
get.
Anybody comes up to Chicago for training or whatever, it's always like, we're going to go to Portillo's, right?
Portillo,
get our
exactly.
beef sandwich. Yes, we'll go get your beef sandwich. So absolutely.
Love that stuff.
For
Love
sure.
That stuff. Well, let's get out of here.
All right, let's do it.
Where with the other divisions that you handle,
Mm-hmm.
where are those you're traveling? How often do you go?
So it'll be Texas, California, Northwest, and there's Canada, the Heartland division in the middle.
Any regrets? What if anything would you have done differently?
That's hard. There's always things you would do differently. How you would have managed a situation, how you would have worked with someone more. There's probably been people who we've hired on here who, due to the sheer volume pumping through here and everything else I've had to do, it's been very hard for me to train that person. So I probably would have taken a different approach if I could go back and do it again and really dedicate some more time. So that's kind of been one of my focuses now in my new role, is really finding a robust training program we can develop that will help these people. Even if the people aren't available, we have something that they can go back to
Right.
and reference and use as a guide for them.
And it's hard because
Without a
there's
doubt.
so much we do so much.
Without
It's
a
very
doubt.
hard to have one consistent, Bible to go to.
It's very difficult, but if you get the basics to them, and then just I'd say that's probably my biggest regret is I know we've lost some people across time who just never clicked because we didn't give them, I didn't have enough time for them, or sometimes just hire badly and then it's not the right fit.
Yeah.
But that'd probably be my biggest regret is just really trying to do better at that area.
And it's tough when you have a busy day and you get a phone call and
For sure.
It's tough to be able to
It is.
allocate that time.
It is, but we're better now with support systems and having people cross-trained, and we can rely on my peers to help out where it's not just we're all on one person. I think that's the better part. We have a bigger pool of people to call upon than just it's one person trying to train everybody. It's too much. So.
In the past, what's the funniest, weirdest request you've had? Something to make it happen for the customer. Do you have any kind of story that where you got bubble wrap on the hood of your car or something, anything like that?
I have done that, not on the hood, but I had my car at one point loaded with boxes where literally it was just me and boxes surrounding me,
right.
And I had to drive it down to Joliet to make a delivery to a customer because they just had to have it that day. We've had 40-foot guardrails show up on trucks, and they're like, yeah, you need to unload. We're like, what am I going to do with a 40-foot guardrail? I can't take that to a customer.
Right.
There's nothing I could do with this. So, yeah, there's been some weird stuff throughout these for sure. I mean, definitely those same days you're running out somewhere to go. I've driven from here to 2 hours away to pick up one case of polymailers that they had to have or it shuts down their operation.
But that's what we do.
And we just do it.
That's what we do.
We just do it.
If I'm a new guy at Premier, it's day one for me. What advice do you have?
Learn the system.
Right.
Learn the system. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I try to say that about 50 times during the process.
Right.
No question you're going to ask is a bad question. I'm never going to get mad if you ask me the same question 5, 10, or 15 times, as long as I can see the progression. Sometimes, you're not going to get what I'm saying, so I'm going to find a different approach. I'm going to find someone else to say the same thing to you, but maybe in their way, and maybe it clicks into you. But just be open to the Premier process. It's fast-paced, but it's exciting. You're never going to be bored.
Definitely.
But this has been the best company I've ever worked for. I mean, the culture here is from the top down. It's just been amazing, and I don't want to be anywhere else.
I agree.
Yeah, right. I mean,
you're not going to get me to say otherwise. But we'll see how the podcast goes.
Right, exactly, right.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. I appreciate it.
It's awesome seeing you again. It's
You
been
too,
far
my
too
friend.
long.
It has been too long.
This wasn't so bad, right?
Not so bad at all. We got through it.
We did. I appreciate you joining us for today. This is Billy Watkins with the Premier Power Hour podcast for Chip Underwood.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. See you next time.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit primpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.